Hey folks, welcome back. In this video I want to talk a little bit about drawing from life and drawing from reference as opposed to just drawing from your head. Now, I love to cartoon, I love to illustrate. If you've watched some of my videos, you can definitely get a sense of the styles that I'm really into. I love comic books, I love animation. But I don't think that just drawing those types of things can help one improve their art. If you really want to get better faster, then I think it's a good idea to also integrate drawing from life. Whether that means that you actually go out into the world, into a public space with your sketchbook and you sit down and you draw, or if you have photo references that are well shot, in other words, that have good lighting, that have a good, composition. Those are some ways that you can develop your observational skills, which you can then put into your drawing from imagination. I'll give you an example. If you're drawing a rock from memory, then chances are your rock will somewhat resemble a rock, but it may or may not have things like texture. There's a lot of different varieties of rock. So what you're going to formulate is more or less going to be what your own mind interprets a rock to be, versus actually looking at a rock and picking it up, holding it, and then drawing from what you actually observe. You start to, get a better understanding of the detail, the form, and other things that you can directly observe as opposed to relying solely on your memory. Now, this video is sped up 200%, so what normally would have taken me 24 minutes as a warm-up exercise, you're watching in 11 minutes. The reference photo is from the website Earth's World, and I will have a link to that in the description. And this is what I sometimes will do when I'm looking for something to draw. The other great thing about drawing from observation is it really helps answer the question, what should I draw? Sometimes you want some inspiration, and maybe just drawing from your head, you're probably drawing something that you've already drawn before multiple times. If you just want to shake things up and kind of go outside of your comfort zone, then finding references and drawing from life is a great way to do that. And it will help you get better at drawing overall. I'll tell you a story. When I was much younger, I was obsessed with the Roadrunner and Coyote cartoons, and that's really the only thing that I ever drew from the time I was about 3 or 4 years old. I mean, you're talking about seriously obsessed with these cartoons. And I would always find ways in my art classes to draw those two characters. I really was not willing to try something different. And I think it's because I just got so comfortable drawing those characters, and my fellow students would always claim that I could draw them really well, that I just kind of stuck with that. That was kind of my comfort zone. And I felt like if I tried to draw anything outside of that comfort zone, I wouldn't be good at it. So I tried to avoid it. And then, it caught up to me because I think I kind of stagnated for a number of years. It's only when I went back to art school and started engaging with classes that, many classes on drawing from life, did I really start to understand, appreciate, and value it. I think I went from, being a little bit scared and reluctant because I would always draw with my wrist and I would always draw small. But when I had to draw from life, we were given these 18 by 24 inch pads, and we had an actual model that was lit with studio lighting. And that really opened it up for me to draw with my entire arm. And drawing from my arm actually changed the way I drew my own characters and illustrations, because I started developing a much more confident line. And because of that, that helped my cartooning. So even on a smaller piece of paper, or if I'm drawing digitally, I use my entire arm. And that's something that I don't think I would have developed if I had just stuck with drawing characters in my sketchbook like I'd always been doing. So I know it can be uncomfortable when someone is, not really used to drawing something, like for me, drawing vehicles and things like that, drawing homes and buildings were always intimidating. Drawing backgrounds was also very intimidating. But the only way that you can really overcome that, that feeling is to kind of push yourself to do it and not worry so much about the results, but just do it. Maybe the first time you do it, it's not going to be so great. But it's like I tell my students in class, it's like you can't get worse at doing something every single day. It's just physically impossible. If you practice something every single day and you're periodically getting some feedback on your work and corrections, you can only improve. So that's something to go ahead and keep in mind as you're working. And the other thing that I think that is also kind of a very important aspect to drawing from life is that it really allows you to kind of reset. Instead of you having to think up an idea, you can let your brain go a little bit on autopilot and you can focus on what you're actually seeing in front of you. And I love that. It just takes away all the pressure of having to develop an idea from scratch. So that's my 2.5 cents on it. In this video, you're just seeing me work. And in this particular stage right here, I'm just flipping the composition left and right, because I think the other thing that a lot of people don't realize is when you're drawing left-handed or right-handed, you tend to have a slight bias and you don't see the wonkiness. So you have to flip the drawing over to kind of see if there's any weird distortions. And that's something that I'm fixing here. So I'd like to ask all of you a question. Do you integrate life drawing into your cartooning practice if you're a cartoonist or illustrator? How often do you draw from life? Let me know in the comments below. I'm very curious. This channel can only grow and thrive based upon the direction and feedback that I get from folks that are watching these videos. So if you have a moment, please engage with me and let me know what you're into and your drawing habits. There's a lot that I can learn from others as well, so I'm very curious to know how you're doing it too. The last bit of advice that I'll go ahead and throw out here is not related to drawing from life, but it's just drawing in general. I think that a lot of people feel like it's a very intimidating process and they're worried about perfection, and I hear this a lot as a teacher. I'm a perfectionist, right? Perfectionism is really, it's a nice thing to strive for, but it's almost impossible to get. If you're going to be drawing in any capacity for the rest of your life, you will always try to find ways to do things better. Even the best artists that are out there still push themselves to get even better. So there's no upper limit. You just have to keep striving. So don't worry about perfection. Just start putting stuff down. Try to draw on a daily basis. Even if it's 15, 20 minutes, carve out some time. You might have to make some sacrifices and wake up a little bit early to do that if you work a day job or something along those lines. But, I think these are habits that will work to help you get better at your craft. And I've plugged this on the community page for this channel, but I would recommend checking out DJ Kaufman's Draw or Die channel if you're looking for really good motivation for drawing every single day. That's one channel that I really, really like. It's short, it's sweet, and it's fun to watch DJ come up with art prompts and see how he tackles it. And he's got a lot of great advice to go ahead and give. And I do appreciate all of your support on this channel. We're continuing to grow and couldn't be without you. So please keep the comments coming. Please let me know what I can do in terms of topics for videos that will help your understanding, and let's all try to grow as artists together and get better. That's what it's all about. The last thing I'll leave you with is when you draw from a reference, you don't have to make an exact copy of what you're drawing. I think that in my own practice, I try to capture the likeness. I try to capture the tonal values of the drawing, but I'm not, deliberately just making a photo reference quality. I've just never really been interested in drawing with that level of precision, and it's just, I can do it, but it's just very, very labor intensive. But, for me, this is a quick way of just knocking something out. Is it going to be perfect? No, but that's okay. It's really about developing my observational skills. And what I want to get out of it is just more practice. I'm not about trying to replicate a photo, because that's why the photo exists. So if you like what you're seeing here, you want to get more insight, let me know in the comments below. And do check out some of my other videos. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Like and subscribe, as they say. All of that stuff really goes towards making more people aware of this channel, and hopefully they can get some benefit too. So thanks so much for watching. I will catch you in the next video, and you'll see the final reveal here in a couple of seconds.